Wednesday evening from my hotel room here at Le Meridian in downtown Indianapolis. Hope you guys are doing great. It's the 25th of February here in 2026. Welcome inside the channel. It's brought to you by my friends at Preston Automotive Group and FanDuel. If you could like the video on the way in, subscribe, hit that notification bell, consider becoming a channel member or gift-giving membership this offseason. It's great to have you guys here. For whatever reason, I couldn't pin a comment with the access line to join if you'd like to call in tonight. So it's included in the top of the show notes if you'd like to participate. Daniel Jeremiah, former Ravens scout turned NFL Network draft analyst, I thought said what we all know and what we all believe, and probably what has to be on the Ravens' top priority list this offseason, and that is the necessity, the requirement, the actual objective that needs to be rebuilding this team through the trenches, retooling, rejuvenating, developing, everywhere in between. So we'll begin there, and then we'll start talking about specific prospects that Mel Kiper is looking at specifically as it relates to edge rushers, defensive tackles, guards, and yes, even potentially the center position that the Ravens could very well indeed be having to work through. Hopefully that's not the case for their sake, for Tyler Linderbaum's sake, but obviously the jury's still out on whether or not he hits the open market 2 weeks from today at 4 o'clock Eastern when the new league year officially begins. So without further ado, let's dive in. By the way, Jesse Minter also addressed the ongoing offseason trend of OTAs, attendance, Lamar Jackson. We'll splice it all together and catch you up to speed on how that messaging has been handled by the head coach, the general manager, and the offensive coordinator who made news without even trying to make news a week ago during the coordinator press conferences. But first, Daniel Jeremiah, and a question that was asked by my co-host and colleague and drinking buddy, Jeff Zrebeck of The Athletic.
The Ravens the way you do, could you see this as a draft for them where they sort of go back to their roots and focus on, big guys and building up the trenches?
Yeah, I think big guys, I think defensively, it's just there's such immense pride in that building for how you play defense, and it hasn't been up to their standard. So, when they're at their best, they are big. They're big everywhere. It's not just like big DTs or like some big edge-setting guys, but big corners, big linebackers. Like they want to be kind of a bully, and I think they got away from that a little bit. And when there's some finesse players, some speed players that they brought in, I looked at them trying to get back to that tenacity and that style.
Run that back once more.
Daniel, knowing the Ravens the way you do, could you see this as a draft for them where they sort of go back to their roots and focus on, big guys and building up the trenches?
Yeah, I think big guys, I think defensively, it's just there's such immense pride in that building for how you play defense, and it hasn't been up to their standard. So, when they're at their best, they are big. They're big everywhere. It's not just like big DTs or like some big edge-setting guys, but big corners, big linebackers. Like they want to be kind of a bully, and I think they got away from that a little bit. And when there's some finesse players, some speed players that they brought in, I looked at them trying to get back to that tenacity and that style.
All right. It's good stuff there from DJ. And again, I think it's pretty obvious that that's a position, that's an area that the Ravens have to address. And he did not mince words. And we all know who's won these last couple Super Bowls and how they've done it. They've done it with solid defense. They've seen it done it with clean operations on the offensive side of the ball. They've gotten consistently to the quarterback. They've created turnovers. They've wreaked havoc. And that has been the Philadelphia Eagles and Seattle Seahawks in back-to-back years. And they have Lombardi trophies to show for it. Look, I would say that Jesse Minter and Eric DeCosta both agree with, it's not even harsh. It's the correct, the fair assessment given there by the former Ravens scout, Daniel Jeremiah. Jesse Minter talked about the trenches earlier this week here in Indy.
It's an O-line, D-line driven league. When you look at the last few, just look at the Super Bowl winners of the last couple years. I think that's really where you start, is like, how have these teams won that final game? And 2 years ago, it was the Eagles, like O-line, D-line driven. This year, Seattle, same deal. So I think that's an area that you're always looking to get better. I think there are some good pieces there, and so it'll be about coaching them up, developing them more, and then adding some pieces to help us get to that level.
A lot of this starts and ends with Tyler Linderbaum and his future with the organization as a pending free agent. Eric DeCosta spoke about his former first-round pick, and then again kind of resorted to trenches, trenches, trenches.
First of all, Tyler's a guy I have tremendous respect for. Obviously he's proven to be, in my opinion, the best center in the league. We've been having conversations. We've had conversations since the end of the season. And at this point in time, we've made him a market-setting deal, proposal, offer, and hopefully we can get something done with him between now and the start of the new league year. Well, I think we started that last year. We took a couple guys we were excited about last year on the offensive line, in Cordell and Emery. We're excited to see what those guys bring to the table this year. No guarantees, but we're excited to see where those guys are, and we're not done yet. I think it was tough to see Nnamdi go down last year. Left us probably a little vulnerable. We did see some guys step up. It was great to see Travis emerge like he did, especially the second half of the season. We were fortunate to be able to get a deal done with him. But I think, we've always been a team that has valued the importance of, quote-unquote, the trenches and being up front, which is one of the reasons why we want to bring Tyler back, if we can. Certainly a focus for us is you look at your roster and you see the ebbs and flows. You lose players. We've lost some offensive linemen the last couple of years. We've lost some defensive linemen. We've got 11 draft picks, I think, and we should have a good opportunity to add players.
And again, which players will be added, and specifically when it comes to the first-round pick that the Ravens currently own and occupy at 14, which position will it be? Will they be at a point where center in the coming months ahead is a priority replacement? Or will they reach agreement as they did right around a year ago with Ronnie Stanley, who was a pending free agent at the left tackle position, who was going to make a lot of money had he hit the open market? And you get the sense that if they allow Linderbaum, meaning if he and his team allows the open market to be reached, meaning they refuse to accept the Ravens offer, what they have on the table. And as Eric refers to it, it's a market-setting offer. If that refusal comes to fruition and they decide to go play ball, meaning, hey, open up the floodgates, give us your best offer, then Tyler might be as good as gone, knowing his projected market value, knowing the teams that would line up for his services. He's all anyone's talking about here in Indy at the Combine. It's a down year when it comes to quarterbacks, and it's just different when it comes to the NFL Combine in general, given the NIL era, given how protective players are, and given just how mindful and strategic this process has become with pro days involved in the coming weeks ahead. And let's be honest, participation is probably at an all-time low when it comes to the household names as prospects go coming out of college. So with that, it really turns into this pre-free agency frenzy, and Tyler Linderbaum finds himself at the forefront of that discussion, universally believed to be the top offensive lineman and one of the top free agents, again, bar none, across the board, available should he hit the open market. So, back to trenches, though, because Daniel made it known. That's been an area that the Ravens have gotten away from a little bit in recent years. They've gone towards the skill positions. They've gone finesse. Eric DeCosta himself, since taking over for Ozzie in 2019, has taken 3 swings at wide receiver alone in the first round. And while that's won them a lot of games, or at least helped them win games with an offense led by Lamar Jackson when healthy, the blueprint has and always will be protect the quarterback and get to the quarterback. And last year, the Ravens did not do either one of those at an elite enough level to make the postseason. So let's talk about specific prospects. And for that, I'll go to Mel Kiper's top 5 in a few different specific positional categories. We've talked about Vega Ioannai at length in recent weeks. He's the Penn State guard. Mel Kiper has him as his top rated at his position. Emmanuel Pregnon out of Oregon is his number 2. Keelan Rutledge out of Georgia Tech is 3. Chase Basantis out of Texas A&M is 4. And DJ Campbell out of Texas is 5. If Vega is available at 14, knowing the issues that Eric DeCosta has had at fortifying the guard position, knowing that Andrew Voorhees and Daniel Fa'alele almost certainly are either one, not even in the cards from a Fa'alele standpoint to be a part of this organization moving forward, or in Andrew's case, maybe not a shoe-in starter, barring something unforeseen this offseason, wouldn't you feel pretty enticed to use that kind of capital on a plug-and-play starter that will handle duties at left guard and give either Emory Jones an opportunity to continue to develop, or you slide him over to right guard, or you retool right guard through free agency, and Vega ends up being your, again, day one, plug-and-play, NFL-ready, starter-ready, that is, left guard come September. You know Ronnie Stanley is going to hold things down as the vet, and Lamar Jackson's blindside protector, at left tackle. You hope, right now that might be a little rich, but you hope that Linderbaum is back on an extension, just as Ronnie Stanley was a year ago at center, and Roger Rosengarten looking for a bounce-back campaign, which will be year 3 for him at right tackle. That's Mel Kiper's top 5 at guard. What about centers? Hey, you have to at least mention it and follow it, knowing that Linderbaum and his future is uncertain. Auburn is Mel Kiper's, meaning Auburn's Connor Lew, is Mel Kiper's top-rated center in this year's class. Matt Golban out of Michigan State is 2. Jake Slaughter out of Florida is 3. Logan Jones from Iowa, which the Ravens have plenty of familiarity with, is 4. And Brian Parker II out of Duke is number 5. That brings us to edge rushers. And we know that outside the universal top 3, there's a drop-off. And will the top 3 even be available come 14? That remains to be seen. Certainly in a year where there isn't a ton of stars coming out of this year's class at the quarterback position, that doesn't exactly help the Ravens at 14. But David Bailey out of Texas Tech is Mel Kiper's top-rated edge rusher. Reuben Bain Jr. from Miami, spoken about him at length in recent weeks. He's number 2 on Kiper's list. From there, he goes Auburn's Keldrick Falk. Then Zion Young out of Missouri. Akeem Mesidor, another Miami edge rusher, rounds out his top 5. Sarah and I spoke about Cassius Howell recently inside the vault from Texas A&M. Clemson's TJ Parker is number 7, and R. Mason Thomas from Oklahoma is number 8 on Mel Kiper's top 8 edge rusher list. Certainly an area that the Ravens could use a lot of help in, whether it be through free agency or the draft. Personally, I think they should part ways with Kyle Van Noy. Mike Green is primed for development. Tavius Robinson is a solid player. And outside of that, you have the likes of Adisa Isaac, who at this point is very unknown based on availability or lack thereof. And once you start working your way into the interior defensive line, which I'll switch over to the next graphic in just a second here and talk about defensive tackle. While Travis Jones is among the league's best at his position, nose tackle, you just don't know where Nnamdi Madubuike's football future lies at this moment, knowing that he only played in a couple games last year before having the neck shut down his entire 2025 season. Caden McDonald is Mel Kiper's number 1 defensive tackle, his top-rated DT. Lee Hunter out of Texas Tech is 2. Peter Woods from Clemson, who we spoke about today inside the vault because he said he's met with the Ravens and loves the Ravens, is number 3, the Clemson Tiger. Caleb Banks from Florida is 4, and Christian Miller from Georgia is 5. Why don't we zero in on Peter Woods? Because, again, that became a topic of conversation earlier today. And we learned a lot about Peter Woods, including this.
I think that I'm a game disruptor. I'm the type of guy, like I said, that causes offensive coordinators to lose sleep at night planning for me. You don't really know where I'm going to line up. You don't know where I'm going to be, but you got to respect it. And you got to know where I am at all times. I think that, like I said, I'm one of the best at shocking and shedding and getting rid of a man. And I think that's what our game is, to disrupt the offense.
It's a big fella right there. What about why production was down this past season? Kelsey Conway, Bengals beat reporter, asked him specifically about that.
I think, 2024, I had a lot more versatility, within the scheme. But we brought in Will Help, who's a dog, crazy production for us. And I think a lot of it was, just having those dogs around me. TJ Parker, Will Help, DeMonte Kelpart, Stevalon Green. And just having that year in 24, made me, for opposing offenses, nightmares, when it's time to game plan. And you're hearing stuff like that on the field, on-field communication and stuff like that. Triple teams, double teams, you've heard the story, but I would really just attribute to the people I got around me, making amazing plays.
He did talk more about his positional flexibility, by the way, and I get it. Run stuffer specialists shouldn't always be measured on sack production. He only had a couple in his final season at Clemson, but here he is talking about his versatility, positional flexibility, and more.
I think it's been pretty consistent. I think I bring a lot of positional versatility to any team that I go to. Obviously, I'm very comfortable, at the D tackle space, playing the 3 tech, some pass rush versatility, some run game versatility. So I think it kind of varies. I think that's one of the best parts of my game, just being able to do a lot of different stuff.
6'3", 315, first team All ACC in 2025. Again, just 2 sacks, 30 total tackles, 10 of which were solo, 20 assists, 3.5 tackles for loss. But again, the idea of him stopping the run in Baltimore, I think, is what excites you and entices a front office. He was top 5 in his conference in run stops with 19 and run stop rate at 10.1%. Again, that's top 5 in the ACC among interior defensive lines. So one of many prospects that if you're the Ravens, knowing, as Daniel Jeremiah noted earlier today here in Indy, you have to rebuild, rejuvenate, and develop the trenches. And obviously one way to do that is get bigger, stronger, and more stout against the run. Something that they have historically been as a defensive unit. Perhaps Peter Woods, if he falls outside the top 10, would be an option for Eric DeCosta and company a couple months from now. Thanks to Preston Automotive Group for the continued support of the program, my longest standing sponsor. If you are in the market for a new or pre-owned vehicle in 2026, give Preston a call at 410-673-7171. That's 410-673-7171. There and at PrestonMotor.com, with my specific landing page available to you, you'll find a couple exclusive offers that are available only to you as Bobby Baltimore subscribers. One of those is a $500 credit that can be used towards a new or pre-owned vehicle. The second is the ability to buy 4 tires, and you'll receive 50% off your alignment. You can scan the QR code in the upper right-hand corner to learn more. I also have a direct link in my show notes that'll take you to the site. or you can just go search it yourself. PrestonMotor.com. You can contact them and fill out this form if you'd like. You can even divvy up and get more specific based on dealership locations. And there are many all throughout the DC, Maryland, and Virginia area, including all throughout Baltimore, the Eastern Shore. Right now, you have 3,951 vehicles to choose from in the available inventory section, and you can search by make, model, or keyword. Break it down by price, vehicle condition, year, make, location, you name it. I appreciate them, and I appreciate you guys for being with me tonight. I got to ask, is the live chat broken? I'm not seeing one live chat. I know it's not the most highly attended show ever, but is the live chat broken? If one of you out there who has access to your keyboard could just drop in yes or no, that would be helpful. Because it wasn't allowing me to drop in my access link, which I normally would do, to allow you to call in tonight. So I'm not sure what's going on, and I just want to make sure there's not a malfunction on YouTube side of things before I continue. So let me know. Meanwhile, Jesse Minter continued his media tour that he's been on here in Indianapolis as a first-year head coach. And what has been an ongoing theme this offseason resurfaced and came up again in an interview. And that is the concept of organized team activities, one of the off-season programs coming up in the weeks and months ahead. They are voluntary for players, but over the years, as Lamar Jackson has chosen at times to not attend, it has garnered traction all over. And when Mike Florio and Chris Sims sat down today with Jesse, it came up in conversation.
Last week, off-season workouts, and there's a line to walk.
Declan, you mean, yeah, right?
Declan Doyle.
Yeah, that's right.
They're voluntary, but the expectation is the guys will volunteer to be there. And I took the whole thing as a message to your quarterback because he's given up $750,000 in workout bonus each of the last 2 years in not volunteering to show up. How do you as the head coach come up with a strategy to get your quarterback to volunteer to be there so he can learn the new offense and the team can get off on the right foot?
Yeah, first of all, I do have total respect for the rules that it is voluntary. Totally understand that. And Lamar has had unbelievable success doing it both ways. And so there's certainly a balance there. But I think it's our job to create an environment and a learning opportunity where they feel like it's really important to them to want to be there.
Like I'm missing something if I'm not. I better get there. I'm hearing what these guys
just
do. I better get there.
They're like, man, this is high-level stuff, and this stuff's going to help us. This stuff's, I think, like the feeling of what we're doing now will pay off in September and October and November versus, okay, we're coming in and we're kind of doing the same routine. It just needs to be an environment that they really feel the importance of it. Well, also us understanding that, we're going to take advantage of who's there. We understand that things come up in the off season. And so we'll make the best of the situation no matter what it is.
What a smart way to handle that question, which has become polarizing for whatever reason since last week. And Declan Doyle's comments were completely, again, it's not taken out of context. There were words put into his mouth last week. And I think we all saw that. And it just went nuclear, like astronomically nuclear for no reason. And so I think Eric DeCosta and Jesse Minter, whether it's indirectly or directly, have made an effort this week to calm some of that, quiet some of that nonsense that had been all over. So, again, I thought that was a really fair way of putting it, a thoughtful way of putting it. Lamar's had unbelievable success doing it both ways. So there's certainly a balance there. But I think it's our job, Jesse says, to create an environment and a learning opportunity where they feel like it's really important to them to want to be there. The feeling of what we're doing now will pay off in September and October and November. It just needs to be an environment that they really feel the importance of it. He was asked directly about Lamar Jackson. How do you entice Lamar Jackson to be in attendance for OTAs? As was Eric DeCosta yesterday at his podium press conference.
You know what? Those are voluntary. Lamar's a two-time MVP. I think he knows what it takes to get ready for the grind of the NFL season. He's proven he can do it at a very, very high level, and I have no preference.
All right. And again, it all stems from these comments made by Declan Doyle at his introductory press conference, which, again, never was specifically asked about Lamar Jackson. It was a team-related question posed by a reporter.
That going to be here, and certainly it is voluntary, and so, but it's also, you know, if you want to say that you're going to win a championship, you want to say that you have championship standards and those are your goals and your expectations, certainly that's going to take work, that's going to take collaboration, that's going to take the beginning of building the relationship with their coaches, other players, you know, starting off this next regime on the right foot. And so that would be those guys getting in here, us being able to work with them hands-on and be able to kind of get this thing going in the direction that we want to, and you know, making improvements so that we set ourselves up where when we come back in for training camp, we hit the ground running, we already have kind of shared knowledge, shared language, and we're able to go right to work.
Not sure how we got to this point based on those comments right there. Pretty simple, pretty standard, but here we are. It continues to be a topic of conversation. Perhaps it will continue to be that way leading up to the first set of voluntary organized team activities. And who knows, maybe Lamar will be in attendance for every single one of them for all we know. It is a new offense. He certainly was heavily involved in the first year of Todd Monken's system that was brought in 2023, but I digress. Speaking of Declan Doyle, Sean Payton, of course, gave him his start in the NFL after he was a student assistant during his time at Iowa, meaning he got his opportunity to be a quality control coach for Sean when he was the head coach of the New Orleans Saints. And when Sean went to Denver after his time in New Orleans came to an end, he brought Declan with him, where he served as his tight ends coach for the Broncos not long before Ben Johnson brought him to Chicago, where he spent just one season as the non-primary play calling offensive coordinator for the Bears. Now, Sean here, just like many others, are here in Indy working the combine, and he had this to say about 29-year-old Declan Doyle, who he gave, again, his NFL start to.
I remember Declan coming in from Iowa, Joe Brady coming in. You know, these guys who cover us in Denver, you know, each year we talk about guys getting these opportunities, and it's a good problem. You know, you want to see them have success. Declan was extremely detailed. So he was a quality control coach for us. I remember just taking all the steps. It's hard to get to this position. There's a journey everyone has, and so there's no shortcuts, but he took the journey the right way. Then when I got hired 3 years ago, I had a job here as tight ends coach. I know he interviewed for that position at New Orleans, but so we were fortunate to get him here. And then, man, in the blink of an eye, you know, we lost him. And now Chicago lost him, and it's Baltimore's benefit. He's a tremendous football coach. He's bright. Again, I was saying earlier, it's never on your time clock. The time clock for these young coaches that are good is quicker than you might think. And so I'm excited for him because – yeah, absolutely. And that'll be quicker than Baltimore wants.
Can you see him becoming a head coach one day? Absolutely, and it'll be quicker than Baltimore wants. Does that mean that immediate Lombardi-type success will be had in Baltimore? Are we talking about a 2-year turnaround time, much like Mike McDonald and company just accomplished in Seattle? Let's not get too ahead of our skis, but clearly Declan Doyle is universally respected around this league, and it's part of the reason why the Ravens took a flyer, took a chance, more than a flyer, took a legitimate chance, and are giving him his first legitimate primary offensive coordinator play calling role. That's exactly what's happening. Sean Payton on his former assistant. Guest lines are open. I have no idea what's happening with the live chat, to be quite honest with you. I think it's just dead. I think there's a malfunction in the live chat tonight, which is very strange. But good thing Manny found his way to navigate to come call in because he's the lone. Where is everybody? Like, what's going on here? I get it. It's a slow week. Not a ton going on from a news cycle standpoint. That'll probably be early March once the calendar flips. But what are you going to do? I'm here. Do you guys have any excuse for not being here? It's all good. We'll all come up for air next week, perhaps. And maybe, just maybe, you're going to make my decision for me. Maybe I'll be at the cigar bar this time tomorrow and forego a second stream. Speaking of cigars, which make me think of old fashions, I thought this was pretty funny last night. Sleeper support, long time.
Wow.
Look at this goal.
Look at this.
We're getting a delivery.
We're getting drinks, or
courtesy of Le Meridian. I appreciate
There
you.
we
I never got your
go.
name, by the way, too. Say it again. Steve, thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
Big Hooper. Indianapolis Hooper right here.
Oh, nice.
College basketball. Not a football guy, but a basketball guy. Thank you.
Nice. Thank you.
Boy, we
Congrats.
got to send one.
Let's cheers to the U.S. hockey team.
That's right. And the Hughes brothers.
Cheers, Jack Hughes, Connor Hellebuck. Wow, that's a strong drink. I didn't need any more hair on my chest, but I just got some.
Hey, what did you tell me you had at 9 o'clock?
9 o'clock?
Yeah, you got a commitment.
Oh, yeah, I do. I have a lot of commitments tomorrow.
No, tonight.
Oh, tonight? Yeah, I got to meet with my editor tonight at 9 o'clock.
So cheers to that.
Yeah, cheers to that.
The timing of that was absolutely beautiful. Anyway, we want to say thanks to Sleeper for the.
I have the
continued
worst
support of-
FOMO ever right now. This FOMO brought to you by Sleeper. Up
You're gonna
here
be
in
sleeping
fucking
poorly
minus
tonight.
25 weather. Fucking
Look at him twirling
Yes.
over here. He's getting it ready. Why don't you
Yeah.
slide the orange slice around
Yeah.
there? There you go.
that 2 Shirley Temples for the boys
Yeah.
over there.
Yeah, seriously, bro, I'm almost embarrassed to have a drink with a piece of fruit in it. That's just
can't.
me.
I can't. Should we just take
We
over?
know- we know-
Should we just take over?
We know.
What do you think?
Yeah, we know Bobby isn't.
Single screen later, Canadian boy.
You know I'm gonna kick your ass next time I see you, right?
I've drank with you before, Crossbar in Fed Hill.
I'll get Coleman after you.
Oh yeah.
I had to. I clipped his ass. I haven't tweeted that yet. I gotta actually ask Jay-Z if he wants me to tweet that or not. Who knows? Maybe we'll get the cosign. Guest lines are open. Appreciate you guys for being with me tonight on a Wednesday. I'm in Indy here at my hotel. You probably do you guys enjoy the backdrop? Decent backdrop. Want to say thanks to Le Meridian for the continued support of what we're doing here this week. It's huge when the accommodation side of things is taking off your workload, taking off your plate with these types of opportunities. So want to say thanks to them. And with that, 90 seconds on the clock, Manny and Nick, my lone 2-man batting lineup right now. So good to see you, brother. What's going on, man?
Not much. Just staying safe. That's
Live
the key
chat
thing.
is broken.
Yeah, I think it's broken because I drop in some comments on mobile and on the laptop, and it's just not going through.
I don't know what the hell's going on, but glad to hear and see that you are still safe. Your thoughts on the week that's been so far?
Well, it is clear we need 2 positions, like a lot of them. Well, not a lot. We need quality. I'll say it again, and I'll say it every year. Quality over quantity. We have a lot of draft picks, but like you and Sarah, I think it was yesterday or the day before yesterday that you were guys counting the misses. Like he's not even at 60%.
Oh yeah.
In all of his drafts. It's like, and I think one of the things that it's crucial that I'm not sure if you guys took into account, how many of those draft picks were harps and how many were EDC?
We're never
Because
gonna know.
that also influences the misses that EDC has had in the past.
Yeah.
So this time, EDC has to nail it. Like, I understand, like, your capital is the draft. Yes, but we want quality players. Quality players. If Bain Jr. is there, and besides we need a guard, we need Bain Jr. Why? Because he's going to pair up with Mike Green, and you're going to have 2 homegrown edge rushers. You know? And then
Bane is a savage. I mean, anybody that
I
watched that
saw
national
it.
championship game, right?
I saw it because my dad graduated his master's from the U.
Oh,
So
yeah?
yes, yeah, he did his master's in the U. So it was like, do you see Miami's going to the finals? Find me a ticket. I want to
Yeah.
go see. So
Yeah. Hey, Bane, I don't know if he's going to drop. I have my doubts. 14 is kind of in no man's land, especially when you consider the fact that this year's quarterback class, at least when it comes to the first round, is underwhelming. There may only be one first-round quarterback when it's all said and done. If there is two, I would think that's probably going to be Ty Simpson out of Alabama. But again, it's very early on in the process. These guys haven't even thrown yet. I know Mendoza will not throw. Will Simpson? Probably. I would. He's got everything to gain right now, especially given this class. And, the Nussmeyers of the world and the Drew Allers, I don't believe are commanding, first-round type of draft candidacy. So not a great year to be at 14, knowing that it is not a heavy-driven quarterback prospect class. So good to see you, brother.
all right, see you
Later, man. Keep
If
staying
we
safe.
if we don't get Bane, at least we can get his partner in crime.
Maybe. And I got a slide on that, by the way. Edge rushers right here. Appreciate you, brother. We just took a look at it earlier on. Mel Kiper's top 8. He's got 8 of them right here. David Bailey out of Texas Tech, Ruben Bain. The other Miami player that Manny was referencing is Akeem Mesidor. He's his top 5 rated edge rusher. Zion Young out of Missouri, 4. Auburn's Keldrick Falk. But again, that Ruben Bain Jr., David Bailey 1-2 punch, man, that is what is on a lot of people's top overall boards. By the way, I took a look at this through an ESPN ranking sheet. Matt Miller doesn't even have let me see. Actually, those were cornerbacks. Let me go up to edge rushers just to see what the majority of these draft analysts have. Let me get to edge rushers. So, yeah, okay. So Miller has Bailey 1, Bain 2. Mensch has Bailey 1, Bain 2. Jordan Reed has Arvell Reese. Arvell Reese 1, Ruben Bain 2, Bailey 3. Field Yates has Reese 1, Bailey 2, Bain 3. So to each his own in a lot of ways. But you know how it goes. Some guys just look at the game differently. Some guys have different sources than others. You never know who's in these guys' ear this time of year. Appreciate you guys for being with me tonight. If you could like the video, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Consider becoming a channel member or gift-giving membership this offseason. What's going on, Nick? 90 seconds on the clock, brother. Good to see you.
What's up, Bobby? Hey, just wanted to let you know I'm a wood bat and a grape flavored big league chew kind of guy. So listen, Bain plays D end. He plays D tackle. The thing about him is we can go ahead and utilize him inside and out like we did Namne. I think Metabike is going to come back. I have a good feeling that it's going to happen. I mean, Coach Jason Brown said it about over a month ago on his podcast that he was going to come back most likely. And then, guys like Chris Bell, wide receiver who tore his ACL middle of the season, is a thick wide receiver. I think he runs good routes. He gets open. He kind of reminds me of Bolden in a lot of ways. And to me, like we need to either trade up to get Bain or Francis Maligoa, or we need to trade back and try to get picks for next year's draft because it's going to be loaded with quarterbacks. And I want to get Jeremiah Smith because that guy is special. Listen, Bobby, I just know that we are basically trying to rebuild the trenches, which we need to do through free agency. So
you're damn right. They need to do it both ways. Free agency, three ways: free agency, the draft, and development with what you already have in house. If you can do that, then you're going to be in pretty darn good shape. And that's what Jesse
believe in
Minter's
Emery,
tasked with.
man. I believe in Emery. Emery Jones, I feel like can be a guy that we can start and everything like that. Tyler Lindenbaum, listen, I hope he comes back, but I won't be heartbroken. I won't. So
You're not the only one that believes in Emery. We'll see. Very little on tape to go off of, but you're not the only one. Appreciate you,
yep.
brother.
Appreciate you too. Bye.
Later, Nick. 14 overall is where the Ravens will sit a couple months from now when the 2026 NFL Draft is underway. I want to say thanks to FanDuel for the continued support of the program. Let's see what's going on there. Sportsbook.fanduel.com. Tonight, in literally under 15 minutes time, the Sabres and Devils puck will drop. And Jack Hughes, the Olympic hero himself, is a part of tonight's featured bet. Anytime goal scorer. What about 5 or more shots on goal? You could take a look at the New Jersey Devils money line. And the over at 5.5 for alternate total goals between the two teams. You got to love the fact that USA Hockey right now is being featured for FanDuel's popular same-game parlay bets. That was a magnificent run and a hell of a title game. Gold medal game, that is, on Sunday in Milan, Italy. Canada goes down. USA, gold in hockey. First time since 1980. Electric. They were at the State of the Union last night. They've been pretty busy. Sure, they're exhausted, that team, given the time change and the whirlwind that they've been on since reaching the pinnacle. It's the pinnacle of sport. That's the Olympics. NBA odds tonight. Take a look. I'm going to try to get to a Pacers game tomorrow night, by the way, while I'm still in Indianapolis. Looking forward to that. Appreciate FanDuel. Appreciate all you guys for hanging out. And lastly, as it relates to Isaiah Likely, nothing really groundbreaking here, but Jordan Schultz, NFL insider, tweeted that he's heard from several teams at the Combine who are very high on Likely and what he could do as a tight end one for their team. He's 25. He's never played more than 60% of snaps in a season. Seems poised for a nice payday and a bigger role. Anybody that's following this would file that under the no shit category. Best wishes to Isaiah. He's going to get paid and paid handsomely, barring something very unpredictable and a return to Baltimore on a one-year deal, which I would be stunned by. Stunned. Appreciate all of you guys for the support this week here in Indy. Couple more days left of coverage as well. And Radio Row is slowly starting to mellow out. So I'm hoping that'll allow me to get a table and do the things that I like to do in the Radio Row environment, tracking down different guests and whatnot. You know how we do it. So I'm looking forward to all that. In the meantime, if you'd like to support the program and support my travels here, you can send anything and everything, which is never, ever expected, but beyond appreciated, to what you see on the screen. 2 different handles. And again, nothing is ever expected. Anything and everything appreciated. And certainly appreciated that FanDuel and Preston Automotive Group continues to support what it is that I'm building here. So thanks to you guys for hanging out. Not sure what happened to the live chat. Perhaps a YouTube malfunction. Like the video on your way out. Subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Consider becoming a channel member or gift-giving membership, and I am going to go meet some buds for a steak dinner here in Indy. Day 3 of the Combine rolls on. Sarah and I will be back at 12 noon Eastern, as we always are. Tomorrow, that's Thursday the 26th, inside the vault. Look forward to it. And until then, hope you guys have a great evening.